All right, now we're doing reflections, and I don't want to take much of your time on this Saturday. Today, we are here to break down just part two of, the actor that many people love and care about. And with this video, I just basically wanted to cover part two, and this could be a finalization of the act. And this is all Michael could really be, is just an act. And this is why many people who don't understand what the act is. They don't understand Saturnalian occultism. They don't understand Freemasonry. They don't understand just a mockery. And we're not here to devalue your idol worship because you do that for yourself. But if you don't see that this little girl ended up being just a condition that many people still practice today, then you missed what she was singing about. You missed what she was presenting to. You missed what she was dancing about. You just basically missed the ritualistic form of a koribont. Koribont just meaning a dancing entity that would just do certain works as far as within a dancing perspective to open up different ceremonial initiations to get into a realm that can bring her, let's say, higher coordinates into a different timeline to where she can possess another body or another act or another vessel to where that possession of that vessel ends up getting whatever they want because they sold their morality, they got rid of their manhood, their womanhood, and they ended up getting into a higher echelon of the society with secrecies and all these illuminating fraternities and sororities that many people want to be a part of. But once you start doing satanic works, once you start going into different temples, different synagogues, and you're doing dark magic, dark ritualistic acts with your brothers, your sisters, really. Actually, let's go and use this video for discernment. When you start grouping up with your sisters and your mother, who is your father, and your mother is your father, because Michael Jackson's mom, and so Michael Jackson's mom was his dad. Michael Jackson's dad was his mom. So once you seen that Michael went with her sisters and Joseph into, they went in somebody's household and they ended up performing a satanic ritual that was granting them, so even chance as well, that was granting them all the accolades and all the numbers and hitting the top charts and getting into different opportunities or different doorways that brought this possession of a untamed spirit, prosperous awakening, divine rising, and celestial and esoteric night to any mirage watching this mindful remembrance of what we know never existed. Don't forget their allegiance. It's your divine observation, and we are here to monitor reflections who do the exact same act, and we are back with another message. Let's get right into it. Because there's so much to talk about, but I don't want to make this video too long. Don't mind that. That was from my clothing brand. So to the people who are new here, I want to show you all something real quick before we get started. So I just made a shirt. It's a box shirt as well, and this is the creation of the box shirt and whatnot. So stop trapping your perception, free your ego from your inherited beliefs. Let me make sure. You're from your inherited beliefs, and then I got a little quote right here, whatever else. So I just wanted to show you all that because in case you want to buy a box t-shirt, 11.98. Now I'm not here to sit up here and promote clothing and whatnot, but I am an entrepreneur, so I just wanted to mention that to you all. Now let's focus. If you were available a year ago, you will see how my operation is when it comes to Twitter, and then we go right into the Gematria. We go into just the whole documentation of this from this, and then I just got many other pictures as well. And then that'll be in this video. Then I got just some key points I wanted to share. All right, let's go ahead and just go and tackle this topic for today. Okay, so first, here we have, let's say, the inspiration, where the movement came from, where the bug breaking came from, where the rituals came from, where the circus act came from. And not only just that, but the humiliation ritual. So Bob Fosse and Little Prince movie 1974 had a massive influence on Michael Jackson. This is almost breaking my brain. I don't want to get copyrighted. Let's go and get up out of that. But just look at the flow. Why? And then why is there a little child right next to this being? Why are they in the middle of nowhere? Why is this person tap dancing and doing all these different movements just to entertain this child? Why is a grown-ass man wearing this attire, by the way? Why is he wearing white socks with black and white shoes? Why is he wearing black? Why has he got white trim on the hat or the fedora, whatever the fuck you want to call this hat texture or formation? Why is he doing all this? I mean, this is many different things that honestly, I feel like whoever Bob Fosse is, and of course, if you got a moving act or if you got no a movie, no, if you got a position to be in the movie industry, they're going to put you into different spaces with children to really see if you're willing to throw away your morals. And my only thing is why I just want to know why you're dancing in the middle of nowhere with this child. But we can see where the influence on Michael Jackson came from. I was going to talk about the Jewish Kabbalah, Hermetic philosophy, and Christian mysticism. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, do your own research, contradict everything, question everything. This symbolizes what your awareness is trapped by when it comes down to an angle that higher, lower societies give to you without them being present in your face. Lucifer equals Kabbalah equals Masonry. All these things are just works of your nature. So we don't have to complicate it. We don't got to add 300 royal families and the Rockefellers, Rothschild. I'm about to sneeze. That's what I thought. Hold on. You're there. Whoa. That felt good. All right. Excuse me. All the Masonic associations owe the Kabbalah their secrets and symbols. Albert Pike, Sovereign Grand Commander of Freemasonry, 1871. When the Mason learns that the key of the warrior on the block is the proper application of the dynamo of living power, he has learned the mystery of his craft. The seething energies of Lucifer are in his hands, and before he may step onward and upward, he must prove his ability to properly apply energy. Apply energy towards what, for whom, and why? Why are you applying energy into anything, into anyone, and what is the reason? What is the intention? With masonry, it's all about your intention. Intention towards what, though? The Kabbalah is a religion of the Antichrist. So let's just say you're anti-frequency. So if you move in love, what would be the opposite? The opposite amplification of this hatred. In the revelation of the government of Lucifer, so just once again, the government that overthrows our nation in America. It is the original religion from the serpent in Eden. So we got to go right back as well to original religion. Realize there is no religion. If anybody's claiming religion, all they're doing is worshiping the sun or it's their nature. So sun and moon, technically speaking, but you're worshiping a trap. You're worshiping a false illusion that your mind has depicted to be reality. Because you're making an original religion satanic, people believe as if even the Gnostics as well believed as if the serpent in Eden was doing whatever. If you have a belief in titles and what they have done to just names, you are under your own mind control. We cannot blame a title or an archetype that you separate from yourself. Lucifer is basically an avatar that you are separating yourself into disowning, even though you should own up to what they wanted your avatar to be. Eve with the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The certain deceived her into believing she too could become like God. The great fall of man began with this forbidden tree. This same tree is a Sephiroth tree in Kabbalah. And I think it's too, the great fall of man did not begin with this tree, but the tree is basically just, let's just say it's your framework within. So your internal database, your genetic structure. The moment that the genetic structure within your body, the moment you stop being aware in that, so you come into awareness when you're a child, when you're a baby. The moment that you're eating fast food, you're watching stupid TV shows and movies, the moment you start begging for toys, you start seeing commercials, seeing movies with your parents or your friends, you start going to school. And shit, you better hope your parents don't give you a phone or a game system early. That's when you fall into this forbidden tree. The forbidden tree is basically just what you're rooted in, inherited beliefs. The moment that your higher self descends down into this tree within, the forbidden tree is basically you gatekeeping what you have to not let your nature get a hold of. The moment your nature gets a hold of your awareness, you're done. That is you descending into the garden of what you need to stop taking the root out of. When you take the roots out of the ground, you stop allowing the contradiction to find its balance. That's why when you ate from the tree, it was not a detriment to your life, nor a dissension just because you ate healthy. Having a healthy mind, having a healthy coding in your body does not bring a demise. But this is what these stories are telling you to believe. But the scapegoat ends up being who? A serpent. But when you ask the serpent, hey, how the fuck can you talk if I see you in a zoo? If I see you in some exhibition or some museum or whatever the hell, if I see you in some building and you're in some cage, you can't talk to me. But if a snake was to talk, it would use telekinesis. Why would a snake, for one, if the snake was talking to the first human trial, what language are they talking? And if human beings never spoke English before till today, what language were we speaking in when we understood that there was no goddamn snake? How the hell can you go back and ask atoms and evolution about what happened today? Snakes don't talk today, but for some reason they talk in books. They talk in stories, but when we're talking about real life, where's the correlation? This same tree, okay. Cabalistic knowledge was passed down through satanic secret doctrines of the Chaldean, Phoenician, and Egyptian mystery religions, and Egyptian schools of mysteries as well, which Jesus Christ also was trafficked into by Mary. It was appropriated by the ancient Israelites while they were being held captive in Babylon between 600 and 500 BC. Now, I think it's to remember the video with Young Dolph. I was talking about how the Nile River and Thoth, or just some deity, it will go to Nile River and it will start teaching people about dark magic and just dark spells, spell casting, rituals, and all that. So when we were held in captive, so the thing is, what's the difference from 600 and 500 BC in Babylon? Or are we in Babylon right now? Yes or no? What's the difference from back then to right now when both of these timelines are the exact same? Back then, we didn't know that 600 BC and 500 BC were a thing till somebody told us what these things were. But the thing is that we weren't talking about timelines. So who's documenting how long we've been alive? Kabbalah was then transmitted orally by the rabbis, eventually to be interwoven into what is now considered modern Judaism as a stray far from God's commandments. How the hell can the Almighty Being command a lower version of itself? That means, for one, if you had to be commanded to be on your best behavior, you're weak. Not just that, you're not human because human beings that are wise don't need commandments. I don't need a fucking text telling me how to act. I know to not kill. I know to not steal. Before, you couldn't tell me shit because I wanted to steal. But for now, why would I steal when I know I can get in trouble for it? Gossiping. I realize that basically what I'm doing right now is a form of gossip, but I forgive myself because I'm not gossiping to feel some type of way in my own betterment. No, we are here to basically help people understand how deceptive, I mean, our mind is basically. I mean, I can't blame letterology. I can only blame the ego for what it allows to fall for. Perverting their religion. And I think it's too, if you join a religion, you perverted your own mind. You're fucking your mind up. Because why would, if I know that I am, why would I sit up here and go to a church to honor a being outside of me? And somebody would say, no, in our church, we don't do that. But that, see, that's the thing though. You have to go into a place to honor what? Yourself still. You don't have to believe in a Jesus Christ or a God or Allah or Buddha, whatever. You don't have to believe in the external terminology. But you're still trying to get me to go into a synagogue to honor my nature. That's even worse. So you're not talking about a title, but you're talking about us being gods. I'm still under your mind control. I'm not going to be deceived by your works. The perversion on or the perverting from religion comes down from what you walk into. When you walk into this space or this environment thinking as if you'll know about a God, you lost your way immediately. But to be found, walk out and say, I'm good on learning about your form of worship. After the Jews were released from captivity, foreign conquest showed the wicked Pharisees to hide a powerful dark knowledge of the Kabbalah and make it secret. All these different examples are what we did to ourselves, by the way. At this point, Europeans are not called anything because we are still in every single form that whoever made this, we are in every single form that is depicted as Judaism, Jew, or Judaism, Jew, Egyptian, Phoenician, Chaldean, excuse me, rabbi, whatever. Like you can call Europeans different groups and different mixes, but no, they're still a part of us. We made them up. They do not exist in our reality. That's why their perception is formed, not all of them, but most of them, their perception is formed from the hatred that we installed into their database. The founders of Freemasonry integrated Jewish Kabbalah into Christian mysticism and Hermetic philosophy. Prominent Masons known for their occult studies, such as Albert Pike, Manly P. Hall, and Eliphas Levi, incorporated and wrote about Kabbalistic references linking the two traditions. Just putting y'all on game if y'all want to know about that. All right. So y'all remember the Matrix, Neo, and all that? What's Neo doing? What the fuck is Neo doing? What is Keanu Reeves doing? We all hope he was a good guy. I didn't hope shit. But the way the movie made Keanu Reeves seem like he was just above and beyond. But the more I became aware of what the Matrix was, once I started learning about genetic inversion and shit like that, it's all of them. In order for you to get the motion picture, the major film, to get the awards and the accolades, you have to show your allegiance to all the acts that you did when you joined the occult. These people have a leader, they have a boss. That's exactly why they're. My thing is, if your boss tells you to throw these things up so you can maintain your status, your symbolism, what will you do for money? If you know that you got your family out the hood, out the suburbs, you can pay for anything that they want, anything for you to survive and to be as you are. What would you do? Would you say no to it, knowing that you already did it? You gonna keep saying no? No, some of you will not. You will keep saying, okay, okay, mom and dad, because your mom and dad's the system. So you're parenting your parents because you made it big. Now you can shit on everybody back at home, and everybody from your community will be like, damn, I remember I went to school with you, this and that. But wait a minute, do they know what you did to get what you have? To where they can obtain what you have? It's all of them. Nobody gets fucking grace. Who's in the industry, basically. Shit crazy. And the Freemasonry symbolism, hidden hand. What are you hiding? All right, some more.
What you in for, brother?
Eternity.
Ooh, that's a long time. Must have did some really bad shit.
Yeah. I sold my soul.
Hope you got something good for it.
Matter of fact, I got nothing for it.
Well, that's a really bad deal if you ask me.
Well, I'm not asking you.
Doesn't really matter, though. Can't sell your soul anyway.
Oh, really? Why do you say that?
It doesn't really belong to you in the first place. No way, no how.
So who does it belong to?
It belongs to God. That universal spirit that animates and binds all things in existence. Never gonna try to confuse you. But that's a game.
The ego's gonna try to confuse you. Every time people separate the ego from the devil, they're the exact same source.
But in the end, you're gonna see clear to who and what you are and what you're here to do. Now,
Yes, I agree. Let's go back to that.
you're gonna see clear to who and what you are and what you're here to do.
And this is why I say too, we're all puppets. If you watch this show, it's called Lord of the Mysteries. So I know a lot of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's an anime that I'm watching. I'm watching so many new animes right now. So I tapped into Berserk, Hell's Paradise, and Lord of the Mysteries. This show is good as fuck. And this show is basically about like just divinity. And there was a scene that talked about like who the puppet master is and how it's a clown, how it's it. It's I don't want to spoil it for you all, but if you watch this shit, and the thing is too, it's stationed in London. And by me going to London, me knowing about divination and mysticism, sorcery, I mean, this show speaks to me. And I'm just now watching it. I think I'm on episode 5 or whatever. But I'm just branching out of the mainstream animes, the solo leveling, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, Boruto. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! There was another anime I watched too. I forgot the name. Damn, there were so many animes. It was a season 2 of one of them. What is it? I forgot. It'll come back to me. But yeah. So once you realize that like solo leveling, no, Lord of Mysteries basically talks about how, because I want to correlate that to this point over here.
and what you're here to do.
Hold on.
You're gonna see clear to who and what you are and what you're here to do.
And this is the thing, when you leave your body, when it's done for you, when it's time for you to be done with this experience, you will, it's instant clarity. There is no guessing. There is no indecisiveness. You immediately know why you were stationed, why you were broadcasted to be here. Because remember, we have a virtual headset on and you never take it off. The moment you take off the headset in this realm, you go into a different headset because you will always see an augmented illusion. You can never see reality ever. If you did, you wouldn't even know it's reality. You wouldn't even be able to question what reality is because you think it's just that real or realistic because of how you behave. But when you behave aligned with your nature will have to submit to what it knows it's confused by. The mind is confused by what you think is living at this moment, what you think is physical. But fictionally, spiritually, you realize that this fictional game cannot give you a precise accuracy on how reality could be described within your dialect of tongue.
Now, you're gonna make some
You are here to play your position. You are a puppet to hire mimic masters who are governed by mastery because they are possessed upon their skill set. Their skill set brought them down to a lower echelon of a parasitic bond that goes beyond a form of what we define as archonic. That's why the archons are still governed by a god that you may call God, but a higher celestial source. That source is the overseer and the puppet master for everything in this dimension. That's why you're going to make mistakes because you cannot sell what never belonged to you. Not only just that, a soul would never call itself that. So when people say that shit, it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a solar observation. It's really an observation or just a display of what awareness thinks it's supposed to be as far as what you're spiritually conscious of. But the moment you make that mistake, are you noticing why you did what you did and why you should get away from that act? So when you get rid of your manhood, that is basically why they say you sold your soul.
mistakes along the way. Everybody does. If you just open up your heart and open up your mind, you get it.
Who are you?
Just a friend, brother.
The reason he says your soul belongs to God is because your soul
All right. Now, Charleston White and Andy Ross they will be exposed in the near future, but let's focus for right now.
The Bible says that men sell their souls, and this is how.
How can I sell my soul? I won't sell it. I'm sick, man.
You're gonna have to let me fuck you.
Yo!
If you want. I'll get you rich. You want to make some money?
That was crazy. Why are you thinking about it? You can fuck me in other ways. Just not in that way.
Nah.
But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it.
It says a wicked
Now, really think about that. We can just leave it at that. But I mean, this stuff is basically Aiden was just downright blatant with saying it, meaning that by Aiden saying that to Charleston White, that's how you know this is what Joseph did to Michael by sending Michael to, let's go to the presentation real quick. By sending Michael, to our knowledge, the only person who tried to sell such a story was a sleazy record producer we'll call John Stouffer, who worked the Detroit music industry for some 20 years. He approached the National Enquirer with a very detailed account of how 9-year-old Michael was allegedly delivered to his hotel room in Detroit. His account didn't specify who made the delivery. For a fee of $10,000, Stouffer was willing to tell all. In his report, he gave a very detailed and specific account of how he allegedly sodomized young Michael. So all the times, all those videos, I said at this age, as Michael was a child, this being was trafficked all throughout the industry. And here we are today. The claim of actors who are telling you what they did. The boy cried through the ordeal and even bled, Stouffer claimed. But I like that. You see, I'm quite small down there. I used to be basically straight, but several women laughed at the size of my organ. I turned to young boys. Wow. Wow. This is also why I think too, insecurities need to be dealt with. Because you telling me your dick so small, you decided to molest children. You're a fucking weirdo. I turned to young boys, very young boys, because I achieved great satisfaction in penetrating their tight. Wow. Wow. Michael was no exception. He was real tight. When I saw the pain I was causing him, it goaded me on and made me feel more like a man. So not only was Joseph doing this in the system, but also people in these record companies. And it wasn't just one example. It was many. My bad, y'all. Right now I am eating modern mushrooms at the moment. All right. Stouffer offered times, dates, and places that checked out. His charges could not be proven. Of course, the staff at the National Enquirer decided not to publish the scoop, considered it to be undocumented for publication. Stouffer did help promote and publicize Jackson 5 was instrumental in getting radio stations to play the group's records. Prove my point again. Prove me right again. And why is that? Because the moment this being, let me chew my food. It's gonna be a little while. Hmm. No, I ain't gonna see what's on my mom. Because the moment this being said, he helped promote the Jackson 5. That proves what I said right. Joseph trafficked the Jackson 5 to get #1 hit records. For Michael to get the stardom, Michael had to go through the worst way. Go through it in the worst way. My bad. Hmm. All right. In his dossier, Soper said that Michael was delivered to him on 3 different occasions, and that each time the boy cried when he was penetrated. A member of the Inquirer said, "We publish more stories about Michael than any other modern celebrity, but what we publish is only a grain of sand." See? This is why I don't like saying I told you so to anybody or anyone, because I know I'm right. I don't gotta try to be right anymore. It's exhausting. Michael Jackson talking about 5-year-old men, 8-year-old men, and 30-year-old children. It's a very common sentiment among pedophiles like MJ. Damn. Okay. Excuse me, by the way. This is a lot to read. Hmm. It stays. Like I could go to England right now and they show me, say, this is your hair from 2 years ago. I say, oh my gosh. And sitting in their wallet, they collect hair. See, I understand why they do it to me because if you love somebody so much and you have their picture on the wall, you go to bed seeing them every night, you wake up seeing them, you pray to their pictures, you buy all their records, you think about them all day, you write poems about them, and finally when you see them in person, you're like, oh my God, you just fall out, you can't believe it. That's what you like though. What was it like when you first found your freedom restricted? You can't even go to the movies by yourself. I seldom go to the movies by myself. I think I've been once to the movies by myself in New York. I was staying with Wiz director. I saw Halloween. I was so scared. It was a scary movie, and I had glasses and I had on a coat. Nobody knew me. I had such a good time. There are fans who know the back of your head, the way your body shape. I have walked around across fans with my head totally down, and I'll like put my face out so they don't know who I am. And they stop you anyway. It's amazing. I don't know how they know. I guess they study your body. We just had a girl here 2 weeks ago. We woke up and found her sitting by the pool, just sitting there. She jumped the gate. Luckily, our dogs were up. They're usually out, and they would have really destroyed her. We brought her inside. She demanded not to leave. So we held her there until we had somebody go come and take her out. She meant to go in a rude way. Okay, just talking about fame. Okay, Stephen only had that power. Jackson 5. If I moved out, I would die alone. This I'm used to children, which I love. I'm used to family, which I love. People around me all the time. Why now? Yeah, I'm not gonna read all that. To tell you the truth, for me, manhood doesn't come at any age or at an age. Manhood, I know, I'm not even gonna say think is mental. There's some 5-year-old men, there's some 8-year-old men, there's some 30-year-old men. I don't know what's the point of manhood. A lot of people say the old corny thing, responsibility, Machiavellism, being the head, and all that stuff. I really feel that, man. What the fuck? Man, wow. Said Michael Jackson fans furiously dispute the pedophilia charges, but they also dispute that he changed his whole appearance through endless cosmetic surgeries to appear white. They also think he biologically fathered white children. In other words, they're deluded. I agree with this part right here, but I do not agree with he changed his whole appearance. It's like the system gave you Michael. Michael never knew who Michael Jackson was, so I don't know why y'all keep on thinking that Michael Jackson just had a free willing, I would say, the okay to changing the appearance. No, that was going to happen to the actor anyway. So more branches of just Freemasonry, honestly. So we got all these different houses, and then white Pope, gray Pope, black Pope, papal or papal bloodline, black nobility, and then these different wings. And all these stem to Freemasonry. Only difference is these are like ancient families, and these families got a family, and they got a family. So this in-house incest type of occultic society is the reason why they govern all of us today. And they took our images and then idolized it, militarized it, put it in different cities like London, DC, Vatican, and then in order to fuck the world, they had to tell you how they're fucking the world by putting the symbolism of what they inverted and erecting it. They haven't erected, or the dick is erected in front of your face, basically. So that's how hard they are. Pause. They get so hard fucking you that they put it in front of your face and you take pictures of it. Deadass can't make this shit up. This is modern Egypt. Yep, Vatican City, Jesuits, Illuminati, like all these 33rd degrees of Freemason, religion, secret. I mean, but just this shit gets so wicked, bro. This shit is just disgusting. They went through all of this just to make sure we don't know ourselves. Really think about how powerful you are. Like, in order to orchestrate all of this shit to get it to work, to where people still can't fathom what's going on. That takes a lot of time. I can see why they put us in a false timeline. All right, let's talk about the rehabilitation of what can't be rehabilitated.
So I used to work at a facility for baby pedophiles.
What the fuck is going on with this sound? This is absurd.
And the reason why I always say that you cannot rehabilitate them and that they should just be put away or put down is that they do so much damage even as a child. I read case files where kids raped other newborns, they raped their parents, their teachers were sexually assaulted, their caretakers, their grandmothers, elderly. There is no rehabilitation for rape. You can't change that.
I agree. So this is why the moment you see people defending Michael and shit like that, that's how you know they're in on it. Like, this is why pedophilia is accepted. This is why when I keep asking what's going to be done, you know, what will society do? There's a reason why many people can't answer that shit. There's a reason why pe many people go silent because they need to be rehabilitated. Really, you can't rehabilitate them. You had to off them. Like, these people should not coexist with us. And many of them who support Michael are pedophiles. And even if you watch this video, you are a pedophile. So don't even comment your support or how you're convicted into thinking Michael is innocent. By you sympathizing and just being so empathetic with pedophiles just shows how sick you really are and how lost you are. I'm not going to play this song, but seeing this shit. Motherfuckers will sit up here and say, this was real, not scripted. You just lied to yourself. A random gunman planning to assassinate Michael only stopped when he felt the presence Michael brought to the stage. Michael forgave him, which led the men to break down. Now look at these people acting. Yeah, whatever. All right, this right here. You cannot defend this person or this actor anymore. Like, look at this grown-ass woman.
The surrogate mother are my own sperm cells. I had my own sperm cells in my other two children. They're all my children, but I used the surrogate mother. And
surrogate mother. So for the ones asking, how was Michael Jackson a carbonated or a black person to where this actor ended up having or musician ended up having European kids? If you can't see the psyop by now,
she doesn't know me, I don't know her.
I've seen Blanket, and I think safe to say his mother was probably white.
No, you're wrong.
I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Blanket's mother's black?
Yeah.
But Blanket's so light.
Black people were called colored people because we come in all colors. From very white, as white as my hand, to very dark, as the dark of your shirt. My father has blue eyes. You know, and when they see Paris, they always think Debbie, but that could easily be my father's genes, you know.
Really?
Of course.
those are not Michael's kids. He trafficked them. The evolution of Michael Jackson never changing face. Vitiligo doesn't cause all this. Thank you. Thank you. So look at this woman. Vitiligo does not cause that. And it's crazy. Like, just look at the eye makeup, the eyeshadow, edges laid and shit. Just the symbolism of the hairstyle. I mean, once Michael started, really, this shit started at right here. No, 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 no. Right here. Once this shit happened, it was just up from there. It was just, this shit is a joke, bro. It's like you can just see somebody unzipping a mask and just being like, whew, they really believe that I'm fucking Michael Jackson. They'll never fucking know. Oh shit, time to get back on stage. Zoom. Hey everybody, let's do it. Shit's fucking crazy. Look at Michael Jackson's mother.
And Michael said in a recent interview that he was frightened of you. He says that he was so frightened of you sometimes that he would be sick. Is that true?
Well, I just knew about that when I heard him mention that on the TV on the Oprah Winfrey show. I didn't know anything about him being sick, but
This is what narcissists will say to protect their value.
regurgitating. But if he did regurgitate it, he regurgitated all the way to the bank, you know.
He regurgitated all the way to the bank. Care more about money than you care more about money than the well-being of your own child. And then this is like Michael spending a night at somebody's house, and if you want to read that, you can screenshot it on your own time. Because at this point, the shit just get exhausting. It's just crazy how you're in people's bed. Like, that shit's so weird. And where was it? He sexually abused that boy in his room that was supposed to be his safe space. And even though awareness levels were different back then, the boy's parents can join MJ in hell. Facts. To hell like they aren't. Exactly. The parents were in on it as well. So the parents trafficked their children to Michael Jackson. And niggas will say, where's the evidence of that? So they won't look it up themselves, but they'll expect you to look it up as well. Be careful of pseudo-intellectuals, dogmatists, and just reductionists. And reductionists, they'll reduce every perspective down to only what fits their limited framework. This right here. Insane.
And then he finally said, okay, if you love me, you sleep on the bed. I was like, oh, man. And so I finally slept on the bed.
But Michael, you know, you're a 44-year-old man now. What do you get out of this? What do you get out of this?
Why can't you share your bed? The most loving thing to do is to share your bed with someone. You know?
You really think that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask y'all a question. If you come home and a 44-year-old man is, regardless of it doesn't matter if they're famous or not, a 44-year-old man is in the bed with your children, what would you do? And if you sit up here, let's say it's somebody famous as well. They're 44 years old. Mind you, you just came home. They're laying in bed with your children. They're 44 years old. What would you do? And if you sit up here and give me an answer that I think is supporting pedophilia, and if you had children too, by your comment, yeah, your children better never watch my videos because I will tell your children that you are a pedophile as a parent and they should stay far away from you. Got abused by his father, failed singer, failed boxer, and the one child who went against him constantly lived a dream he wanted, jealousy, greed, and trauma. That's why I think Joe Jackson was just an agent, grooming another agent.
But is it really appropriate for a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all?
That's a beautiful thing.
How? To anybody who's watching this video with some sense, tell me how. How is it sleeping in the bed with a child that's not yours? How is that a beautiful thing? And if you can make that make sense, you need to get psychological help and we're going to put you in the home.
That's not a worrying thing?
Why should it be worrying? Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room?
So you know you're doing something criminal. That's why you ask who's the criminal. Nigga, you. Obviously, who's the man in the mirror?
This is a guy trying to help heal a child.
Heal a child by doing what? How do you heal children by laying in bed with them when they don't belong to you? How can you heal a child when you're in bed with a child that does not belong to your being?
I'm sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor. I gave him...
Why are parents okay with lending their children to somebody they don't even know? You only know of what the system gives to you. Are you gonna bring your child in this space just because Michael's famous? Modern day child trafficking.
In the bed, because he has a brother named Star. So him and Star took the bed, and I'm on the floor in the sleeping bag.
Did you ever sleep in the bed with them?
No. But I have slept in the bed with many children.
Imagine a motherfucker, a grown-ass adult who's famous, Imagine your teacher saying that. Imagine your dad saying that. Imagine your mom saying that. Imagine your big brother saying that. Your big sister saying that. Imagine somebody you look up to saying that. If you are conscious at this moment, how does this make you feel?
I sleep in bed with all of them. With my
This is okay. Mind you, if you think as if this is Michael Jackson, you have a long way to go. You have a long way to go. We are watching, and mind you, this video is going to pertain towards mental health awareness as well. When you watch a genetic inversion or envisioning of what's inverted, if you think as if this is Michael Jackson, the CIA has done so much irreversible damage on your frontal lobe to where you still cannot see what never was. If you believe this being right here is Michael Jackson, that shows where you are when it comes down to intelligence.
Macaulay Culkin were little. Kieran Culkin would sleep on this side. Macaulay Culkin's on this side. His sister's in there. We're all just jamming the bed. Then we wake up like dawn and go in the hot air balloon. You know, we have the footage. I have all that footage. But it's not.
Yeah, he has the footage because eventually motherfucker was going to get outed. So in order to stop the occult from exposing Michael had to record her crimes so that they can't sit up here and use that against her.
Right, Michael.
But why aren't these videos released on the internet right now? Okay.
Very right. It's very.
And then the narcissist will justify the entity, now the parasite. So we got to think about it. This is not Michael. The Michael that you and I know, the Michael that we know, the Michael we know was before this. Before this, before that, before that, before that. But the moment Michael started doing this symbolism, that wasn't Michael anymore. Over with. It was done. But before those symbolisms, when you seen, so before Michael started doing talent shows and started going to Motown, that was the Michael that you knew. And then you all can read. I mean, if you got Twitter, I'm basically just giving you the game. Like you can just type in this account right here. Yeah. You should know the do by now. Michael Jackson was a pedophile, that's a fact. The most notorious 764 satanic sexual predator group. Now, this video right here was, you just gotta listen to this shit.
On today's episode of Real Dads Get Demonized. Okay, unpopular opinion. Joe Jackson, father of the Jackson 5, father of Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, millions and millions of records sold. Not a father of drug addicts, not a father of criminals, not a father of losers or any broke niggas. Not a father that was a deadbeat, not a father that wasn't active in his children's life, not a father that didn't protect and provide. Was a father that protected and provided and motivated his children to get out of their circumstances and make them monumental superstars. But why is it that when an active black father is actually in the building and it works, that people try to demonize him all the time? I mean, look at LeVar Ball. All LeVar Ball wanted to do was see his son reach the NBA, and y'all said he was crazy.
All my boys are millionaires.
Look at Deion Sanders just wanted his son to play football, and he tried to shit on him.
My 3 favorite sons, my 3 favorite deals.
They've been shitting on poor Joe for forever. Some of y'all niggas needed ass whoopings. You wouldn't have a criminal record if your daddy whooped your ass. I'm so glad my daddy whooped my ass. Some of y'all needed discipline. Some of y'all needed a father. This is one thing I hate about the music industry. As soon as somebody actually makes it, everybody want to play victim all the goddamn time. You mean to tell me that this nigga can whoop your ass and make you a multi-millionaire from a broke nigga in Gary, Indiana? I want a Joe Jackson ass whooping. Joe, please come down from heaven and place your hands on me. I need me some money. We all need a Joe Jackson ass.
I need me some money. This is why I can't find this shit funny, bro. It's like you're throwing away your morals. And then you're sitting up here saying what Joe Jackson did is what you wanted just because you want some money attached to your name because you want to get out of your situation as far as working harder.
If that's what happens, every nigga that he whooped ass made him a millionaire. That nigga got the golden Midas touch. Shit! I was gonna say, oh, he was trying to keep Michael from being a solo artist. He was just trying to make sure them niggas didn't go back to Gary, goddamn. He was trying to make sure the family stayed eating. Joe Jackson, you come whoop my ass anytime, brother. Shit, goddamn it. Maybe some of these big name sponsorships will start sponsoring my podcast. Joe Jackson whoop my ass. Maybe McDonald's will start sponsoring my podcast. Joe Jackson whoop my ass. Maybe Charlamagne invite me to his little podcast expo. Joe Jackson whoop my ass. Maybe DJ Blair will give me that damn interview you've been talking about forever. Joe Jackson whoop my ass. Maybe my life will be amazing and I'll be rich as fuck if Joe Jackson whoop my ass. Y'all niggas tripping. It's a black man that did not check out, had 18, 11 kids, and made sure all them niggas ate. When he was broke, when they was rich, when they was up, when they was down, I think he deserves a little bit more respect. Everybody just want to paint that nigga to be the bad guy because he died.
Just because you're old and you try to sound like you're wise does not make you experience within wisdom. Motherfucker just talking about what he don't know. And you old as shit talking about getting an ass whooping from Joe Jackson, not knowing what Joe Jackson was programmed to be doing. It's all a fucking script. It's like you're seeing a scripted character literally act out what the fuck the agenda was portraying the whole entire time. So all the things that you see on Michael, it's like a handle scripting of what the person was going to do before they were born. If somebody hands you a pamphlet or a booklet of lines that you're going to say for music and movies and shows and interviews and whatever else. If you don't do that, what's going to happen to you and your family? You do not know, you don't want to know, but you're going to do it anyways. If you want that money, if you want the fame, all of that, because you sold your morals. So what do you have to do?
How often would he beat you?
Too much.
Would he only use a belt?
Why do you do this to me? No, more than a belt.
What else would he use to hit you with?
Ironing cords. Whatever's around. Throw you up against the wall as hard as he could. See, it's one thing to...
But you were only a child.
I know.
You were a baby.
I know. It's one thing to discipline.
And you were producing successful records.
I know. He would lose his temper. I just remember hearing my mother scream, "Joe, you're gonna kill him, you're gonna kill him, stop it, you're gonna kill him," you know, and I was so fast, you know, he couldn't catch me half the time, but when he would catch me, oh my God, it was bad.
And to anybody out there, I know there's someone out here who can relate to this shit. And I want you to know it's not your fault. But if you let the decisions or the inherited beliefs of your parents, if you let that affect you today, you're going to be just like them. You had to break the curse that their, no, break the curse that your family has placed upon themselves. Your family has accepted and adopted what was done to them by their parents, by their abused conditions within their household. That does not mean you have to take on what they did to you and pass that along the family tree. Stop doing what you think is normal. Doing this shit to children just because they're being childlike does not mean they have to be disciplined that way. Do kids deserve an ass whooping? Yes, they do. But I mean, for trying to do what you ordered them to do, that is insane. That's so bizarre. I would not beat my kids if I ever had kids. I would not beat them just because they got a note wrong. I would not beat them just because. And you can say that shit's soft and whatever the fuck, but it's like, but psychologically, you don't know what the fuck that does to a child. So people are so closed-minded, they'll sit up here and call you soft just because you won't whoop your children's ass because they got a dance move wrong or they didn't get it on the right note that you wanted, on the right rhythm that you were programmed to basically tell your children to follow, or something's going to happen to you. I feel like Joseph made some deals with the mob, the like the mafia, the upper echelon of parasites, Luciferianism. So when these beings were singing these songs and doing these dances, it was like Joe had no choice but to get away from the steel mill. But Joe also was getting bug broken as well. So in order to deal with that shit, Joe had to let the children know what it was by whooping their ass because Joe didn't want them to really see or even question what was happening, but just know they were going to have the best life ever. All because of sold morality. That's just so pathetic.
Try to appreciate what I'm talking about. Come on! You two must be film buffs, so you wouldn't have been there last night, so you must know about the subliminals in The Exorcist. William Friedkin cut 2 frames of a demon's face into reel 6. People were throwing up in the aisles. There were cases of women going into labor. One gave birth right in the theater. People thought they were possessed. And all because of 2 frames, 2 little frames, and some creative sound. In certain spots, we mixed in the sound of an angry beehive. Oh, really got on people's nerves. Guess whose idea it was, the subliminals?
Yours?
Second assistant cutter. We changed film forever. We should have won Best Picture that year. You know what did? The Sting! It was a travesty! I couldn't let that stand. Had to take it to the next level. So, I raised money for my own movie. I was after the recipe, you see. The universal combination of image and sound that would trigger the fear center of every human brain.
I studied intrusive memory formation, the CIA hijinks with MK Ultra.
Did you know flashes of 330 hertz can trigger seizures even in people without epilepsy? I applied everything I learned, like Edison creating the light bulb. I used thousands of combinations until one day it happened.
And I wanted to show you that just because if you went to watch that biopic movie or any Michael Jackson movie, you are under mind control. You're under an attack. And this is what the modern freak show looks like. So when you go to a circus and see people like this and whatever else, what the fuck is that? I mean, what is that? What is that? What is that? But this is technically what celebrities are. They're a bunch of freak shows. This right here, showing you, for one, edges are laid. If you are a grown man watching this video, mind you, if you are a biological man, would you lay your edges down? Now, if you are an inverted being, I mind you, I don't give a fuck what your gender is. I don't care because you cannot control that before you are born, but you can control your perception today. If you look like a fucking man and you have the instincts of what a man's supposed to think like, would you have your hairline? Would you do your edges? Would you have your edges laid like this? It's how you notice a grown ass woman. So you can't sit up here and deny like Michael Jackson was a fucking fam. No, 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 no. No. There is no Michael Jackson wasn't a woman, this and that. No, 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 no. No. There's something missing. There's something missing. Not only that. Not only that. We need to change that. There we go. Where is it? Hmm. You're here. So, bingo. Transgender goddess, a training goddess. We're not going to sit up here and no, it's all, mind you, a woman narcissist. And I put these two because people treated MJ like a god, right or wrong. So here we go.
I want to entertain people, bring some type of joy, escapism, magic.
Whoa. Keys to the universe. If you find joy within escapism, because of how powerful magic is, what form of entertainment are you blind to?
To the world, and I feel that's what I'm here to do.
Position. We are all puppets to some system. So this act was put in place to do what?
I'm honored to have the job.
It's a job. I didn't think people could go into the industry and say, hey, I want to be a musician like Michael Jackson. I didn't know they were hiring like that because if so, everybody would be doing it.
Very shy in person, but in public, you have tremendous energy.
I was raised on stage, and I'm happy on stage.
I mean, if you are happy and raised on stage, you can sleep on stage. What does that mean?
I sleep on stage. When I'm off, it's another story. It's hard to relate to people, everyday life. I'm comfortable on stage in front of thousands of people.
What would you eventually like to be remembered for?
To bring the world together through love, peace, joy, for man to live together. It's the whole thing. Like John Lennon said, he was here for peace, and it's the same thing.
All right, channeling spirits. So, and then the vitiligo patches. But once again, though, this whole biopic as well was just, there's so much to say. But yeah, I recorded that because that was a channeling scene if you do go see that. This right here too. Nope. All right, so hold on. You're not slick. He toured in Israel and was shocked about how they treated Palestinians. Okay, so your masters told you to go there. He came back and made a song about it. Sony refused to release the song, but the song is still available. The first claim of child abuse began. I don't even think, but my thing is, if you're going to Israel and Israel is focused on you to where you have claims against you, I don't even think that was a claim from the Israeli or the Zionist community because you work right along with them. So I don't even think they're defaming your character. They're just basically showing you what they have blackmail on. Like when blackmail is a thing, it's because they have something that can literally end your life because that's the law of cause and effect. The people who conspired against him just happen to be Jewish. So Jewish people are us, by the way. So Europeans cannot be Jewish, but they can mimic the Jewish terminology. No, we're not playing that shit. Did a press conference in Tel Aviv. She publicly said Michael's a pedophile, that he committed crimes against children. Your own sister. Mind you, Latoya is basically telling on the actor, not her actual brother, because she knows that her brother or her sister would, because this is basically the brother, that's the sister. But the brother knew that his sister was gone the moment that Motown agents wanted to recruit them. She confessed her husband was abusive and forced her to say those things. Her husband was also Jewish. So it's either life or death. If your husband, and this is why people say too, she was a liar. It's just like, no, she's protecting her identity and she's also scared by living in survival. She does not want to die, obviously, because these people can't take your life and cover it up as if it never happened. And this is not her husband as well, but it's a publicity stunt. MJ grew tired of coordinated Zionist attack and started calling them out. You can never kill me. Jew me, sue me, everybody do me. Kick me, kick me. In order to stay in the music business, he had to apologize. And Rabbi Shmuley becomes his spiritual advisor. Yeah, so in order for you to stay like an idol, you had to suck their dick, get on your knees, and thank them for giving you the life that you always wanted. It gets raided, it goes to court to answer new indictments. But once again, you're just reading a script. This never happened to the actual MJ, because mind you, MJ has stunted development and a loss of cognitive developed abilities within the mind. Michael's mind could not develop beyond a child. That's why Michael was into children. Motherfucker was literally preying on himself. Like this is it's too easy at this point. I don't want to go into that. Okay. Let me hear about this. I haven't seen this video. Let me see. I think I have
Shut.
though.
You hear about something called the Saturn cult and the festival of Saturnalia. Why? Because these people trace themselves back to the progenitors who had originally settled on Saturn. So if you look in Eyes Wide Shut.
So Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Now think about that six human trial, 666, the carbon-based, let's say, formation of life itself. Once that code becomes embedded into the vessel, and when the awareness ignites the vessel into becoming aware of what it's trapped in, that is when you are now activating the solar server system. I wouldn't call it a solar system, but a server system of your solar observation. So Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. All these different gateways, crown all the way to your lower self. The lower self is basically the sun, but Mercury would be your lower self, and then Venus being, let's say, the genitalia area. Earth could be your sacral or your solar plexus or your heart gateway. So it's all about perception. But once you realize that the solar system basically mimics your database and your misaligned alignment, that's when you can understand your quantum immortality in that realm as well. Because you are a Saturnalian also programmed by the Saturnalian matrix that you are bound to in that simulation, in that timeline. So you're bound by time in that realm, but who's to say time works just like our time in this realm?
When they're all wearing the masks, they do this dance where they go around in a circle, and that emulates the rings of Saturn orbiting. Because they trace themselves as the descendants of Saturn, and they believe that they're different from the rest of us, that they have extraterrestrial DNA that made them.
Mind you, this is also a Freemason as well. So when a Freemason is telling you about a truthful lie, you got to contradict that lie and disregard that truth, but see the accuracy in what the truth can never talk about.
The gods. And that kind of is segueing into.
Remember, these people think they know about illumination, but to be illuminated, you have to be in silence. That's why silence holds the key to all truths. The moment you talk about what you know as a Freemason, you went against your oath and you lied to yourself about what you thought you knew because you were taught about a bunch of terms that you yourself can't even define or find a meaning of within the spirit because you're blind by Luciferianism.
The next part of
You're trapped.
Of our talk. So there were a very small number of survivors when the moon was blown up, and they got out with only, apparently the story is, the moon was so badly hit that only a few of their damaged spacecraft got out, and their civilization on Earth was almost completely wiped out, so just a small number of them made it, and they crashed.
Who documented this shit? And how can you document it in our language to comprehend? This is why I don't believe in stories that go too far back. Because my thing is, English is still a new language that people still can't fucking fathom. So how can you document in a language that we can read about? That does not make sense. So how can you make it a story? I'm off this shit. That just pissed me off.
Singers, when they sing songs, it's like a mantra. When you repeat a chorus over and over and over. So when a kid hears a song and he starts singing that chorus over and over and over, then you start to hear it in the alpha state, into the subconscious mind. So you start to become the song or become what you're saying.
This is exactly why words are spells. Because the moment Michael can put you into that state, you're lost. That's really the whole point of the occult is to get you to go against yourself. MJ never knew. Let me make sure. Okay. Let me put this over here. No, I don't like that. All right. MJ never knew Michael Joseph Jackson. So who's the actor that your shadow idolizes? By someone listening to your mind through a lens. All right, let's get started with the presentation. Okie dokie. Whoa, ho, 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 ho. Let's go back. Let's go back, shorty. All right. As we can see today, so I know, is he throwing up the pyramid? No. Hidden hand, you can say 666. I forgot the names of these symbols, but vow of silence, eye of providence. I forgot the specific name for that, but I know it's just a gateway into your lower portal to trap you in your nature. Saturnalian occultism, same exact shit, devil horns, just all allegiance. So to call people, okay, so shit like that. But yeah, this is just a tie into Freemasonry right here. Just for the people who aren't really aware of what happened to this actor. So this is a shift as well. The moment that if you as a kid, and in my previous videos, when I asked you all, even my future self, my inner child, what do you have to do to get the top charts? What do you got to do to get a song, a hit song, ABC, that Motown gave to you and produced to you so that you can just regurgitate it out loud? But why? As at this age, you don't ask, why are we singing this song? Barry Gordy or whatever the fuck the person name was. Why are we singing this song, Dad? Why do we, my brothers, gotta sing ABC 1, 2, 3? Why are we singing Gematria? What's that for? No, there is no asking questions. You just do what we tell you to do. You pose for the camera and you show what you're a part of. Let's go to the next slide. All right. Who is Michael Jackson? Ordinal, Sumerian, capitals mixed, capitals added, KV exception, SKV exception, 198, 11. 88 396 198 90 108. Who is my brother? Now, I put that because I feel as if when Michael came into existence, that should be the first question. Who is this person in my household every single day that I'm seeing? How are you my brother? But why would Michael ask that question? Now, Michael could have asked that question, but how would we know? How would we know if Michael was to ask that? But not only just that, who is your brother if your brother could also be your sister? And if your sister looks like your brother, how do you know your sibling? You don't. That's why they're agents. Could they be an agent? You never know. But if they're moving away from the agent programming, how can they go against you if they're also working for the system, but they're not conscious of what the system did to them? Mankind's Satan or adversary. That's why when you talk about Michael, people are just head over heels for what the actor or the being is, because they cannot stand anybody who speaks the truth on what this pedophile has really done. Alive but dead, but alive. Occultism, all dark magic and sorcery, mysticism. So in order for you to go into the Egyptian schools of mysteries, you had to be able to be recruited. You got to be able to be class in a different category as far as intelligence. Once you go there, you now learn the works of magic, going against death and confronting it. And then once you transition beyond death, you now look at death as like a play. So you don't fall into death, but you watch what death can't kill. Secret Service agent, self-explanatory. And the thing is too, I like that because many different agents can pose as streamers, social media influencers, pastors, teachers, parents, siblings, politicians, professors, sports players, cops. They can be anybody. So this is why you have to be mindful of, these hidden corporations because they are literally here to siphon your mind to where you never are able to transcend your own awareness. CIA, a bunch of dick pic addicts. And I was wondering the other day, how is it that the CIA and all these three-letter societies, how are y'all able to be on point when it comes down to our Google searches or the things we see on YouTube or the things that we download or research? How are you able to crack down on these things? But when it comes down to child porn and when it comes down to the websites, when it comes down to the black market and or the dark web, when it comes down to all this sadistic shit, why aren't y'all attacking that head on immediately? It's like the moment people are going against the system and they're exposing it, your focus is on that. But when it comes down to children and these sex offenders who are in group chats hiding cowardly amongst their own in their own communities and they're exchanging child exploitation to each other and they're making profit off of that, why aren't you all cracking down on those types of people though? Vertical meat suit. And the moment you see this being as she's erect as far as her body goes, that shows that you idolize a shell. Sadistic history. This is self-explanatory. I shouldn't have to even explain that to you because if you know the history of Michael just from a child till old age and whatnot, that story is literally about you. Many of you can relate to the abuse that Michael endured because it's a mockery of what you still experience today. Rock Your World. Did Michael not have a song talking about you rock my world? How did the ancients know about this type of song or this type of wording? Monitor all people. So in order for you to be able to channel different songs and different, let's say, acceptances of what the audience wants, you have to be able to monitor what they're looking for. So you go out and send the people who work for you to interview or ask them or just be around and listen to what they gossip about. That's when the agents come right back to your humble abode and they give you the game that other people want you to talk about. And then they'll be like, whoa, Michael must be a mind reader. How did he know I wanted this song to come into fruition? Crooked and perverse. So crooked mentality and perverted mindset. I mean, self-explanatory. I don't even have to break that down because at this point, I gave you more than what 5 videos on MJ, including my short form videos. At this point, if you still refuse to see it, That's on you. How are words born? How? They are given to us, but who gave the word to the people giving it to us? And if somebody gave the words to somebody that gave it to you, then who did they get it from? And then who gave that to them, etc. So these questions have to keep on being asked. Who taught us these words that bring us into damnation? Red Society members. And the ones who follow me on Instagram and TikTok, we talked about the Red Shoe Society and those Red Shoe Society members stomping on babies' heads, stomping on their bodies, and ripping their organs apart, consuming it, playing with it, wrapping it around their body, wearing it as chains and belts, and wrapping it around their fucking necks and just playing around with the fucking organs and laughing and joking. They got blood stains on their shoes to where now they modeled a different corporation to sell red bottoms or even all red shoes. Why is that? They are literally wearing what people traffic. Pyramid manipulation, so Saturnian occultism, or even just with her symbolism as far as her hand signs, hand mudras. So that's all for manipulation. The moment that the pyramids get involved, Black Floyd or the dark side of the moon. Once you see the dark side of a pyramid, that's how you know your shadow is in effect. Your shadow is in charge. Knock, knock, FBI, open up. The Neverland situation, right or wrong. How did the database spiritually know that Michael was going to go through this? I told you all it's a script. Men lie, women lie, but these numbers, it's just that easy. We're literally reading what Michael's saying about as she was a child. Lust is a weakness, right or wrong. People who take advantage of kids are weak as fuck. I don't know how you all can exist with us in society. I don't know how you all can get out on low financial bonds the next day. It's like, how can somebody have 15 counts of child pornography, then the next day they can get out? That shit to me is crazy. You cannot change your fate. Because the thing is, even though you didn't ask for it, you also were observant of what you were going to play with. That's why when you put the headset on, you can't change your fate. It's going to have to happen the way that it's going to happen because what are you going to do about it? You won't step in and do anything as far as what needs to be done. Abducted in plain sight. And I put that because, I mean, when we read that fucking statement of John, whoever the fuck, trafficking and penetrating Michael, who dropped off Michael to these producers and these record companies? Who did that? Who drove Michael to the record? Because Michael ain't fucking walked to these record companies at 9 years old unless Michael had a goddamn address and walked by himself. But no, who put Michael in those rooms with those executives? So where Michael coming back at the crib late at night and shit, and you're still told to fucking dance and sing and shit, excuse me, with your siblings late at night after you just got butt broken? Crazy. Why do I work alone? I can see why. Because nobody got you. Nobody understood your pain. That's why you were a lead singer. You only led the group because you had the most pain to vocalize. That's why you were singing about it. Nobody could. It's like the brothers knew what was going on as they're sitting there with their guitars and shit and their afros doing what they got to do. They watching their younger sister sing about all the shit they also went through. The only difference is Michael's energy was just different. That's all it was. Origin from Luciferianism, right or wrong. And Lucifer is the archetype, and we'll see that later on. Trick you fools. It's just that simple. Tricknology, a trickster spirit. Lucifer transformed. Right or wrong? Did she not go from being carbonated to being European? How? That's like me having a face where you see me as this color, but then there's like, let's say 10 years from now, I'm motherfucking European. You can be like, what the fuck, nigga? This is not Darius Harrison. Who the fuck is this person? I subscribe to the being that was carbonated. How the hell are you European? But no, nobody's going to ask that question. Nobody's going to ask, how did the avatar transition into a different complexion? How do you do that and then you blame vitiligo? Did vitiligo ever say it was going to change the skin tone? No. Humanity did that shit. Pure hypocrisy. Everything about Michael is hypocritical. So when you point out the blatant hypocrisy, people want to get mad at you about that. Money for nothing. Joseph trafficked her daughters, transition them into being sons in utero, all because of money. And the thing is, too, in the conclusion for their story, it was all for nothing. This is all Korriban's ritualistic performances. So these aren't even real fucking people, but possessed entities that came from the void. Aleister Crowley opened up different portals and was calling on entities, or I'll just call them non-angelic forms, collective formulations into existence, into where they were kidnapping bodies, snatching bodies, skinwalkers without limits. In order for you to be the greatest of all time, to where you can say what you want and it's done, how do you have a giraffe in your backyard? Lion, tigers, chimpanzees. I mean, you have a whole fucking zoo in your environment. Okay, everything adds up. And we don't have to sit up here and look at it. I mean, we can though, because I mean, my entry to me, it adds up right or wrong. I don't see now one off-putting entry that we have. Write my script. You wrote the script for Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson never knew who Michael Jackson was till you started talking about it. The moment you started gossiping, you went against your own commandment, by the way. The moment you started gossiping about this being, what happened? You watched what the narrative was, and then you made this narrative into a reality. That's why Michael had to follow suit with it. Lesbian, more evolved. So not only are you preying on little boys, but these little boys are also little girls. So you're into women, but you're into younger women because you want to groom their mind so that these groom children who are girls can also groom the mind of inverted boys and girls. Got it. Draconian vulture. So with these draconian, draconian magic, this is a part of their culture. Their cultures are basically still your internal knowing from your bloodstream. That's why they do blood rituals. So once you can extract the blood from a fearful child, that can amplify or enhance your spiritual abilities. People don't know about that shit though. This is basically like Patreon talk now. Like we getting real deep into this shit. Because I feel like once you go into the draconian type of mentality, you start getting away from the human description. Is transgender satanic? Yes. Yes and no. Because why? No, spiritually, we are not human, but we are color coded of manifested light. But how does light manifest? It all came from some form of an agenda, high profile figures, right or wrong. Right or wrong. You can't sit up here and say Michael was not a high profile being. This being is a fucking icon, right or wrong. I mean, I grew up on this motherfucker, so I mean, come on now. All part of the movie. Self-explanatory. Meditate on numbers. So if you don't get this video, I'm at this point, and many of you who watch my videos, you already know. At this point, I'm giving you the cheat codes. I don't even have to over explain this stuff anymore because we're at this point of evolution to where you can go to my old videos to see how we did all this. At this point, I'm just going to just tell you straightforward why you have to meditate on numbers. And doing that because if you don't get it, that's okay. I don't get this shit either. That's why I'm sitting here showing the accuracy of what to me adds up. All this stuff aligns because are we not watching what the fuck is in the entry? Secret Wars of the CIA. If you join the CIA and one branch owns a portion of your identity, but the other branch owns another portion of your identity, what branch of the CIA is going to own and control your whole persona? Express numbers. That to me was for me. Because why? What are we doing right now? I'm basically explaining astrology and numerology and Satanism to you. Through numbers, by the way. Numbers govern our realm, right or wrong. Right now, if I told you it's 8:05 p.m., would you believe me? You would say yes, but I just lied to you because time cannot keep track of itself. You got to be lying. I hate lying, but I just lied because I said I hate to do what I've been doing. But yet my truth still lies because I said it was the truth. So how can I lie in my truth if my truth can never find out what lie it was supposed to tell? If my truth is talking shit, I'm lying within it, I guess. So no, I'm not lying about this shit. That's why my videos don't go viral. If they did, the world would be fucking aware of what the fuck I've been saying to where now I would have been famous. The fuck? Matrix green screen. So if we go to a Michael Jackson, hold on. Am I able to? I want to end the show real quick. I want to go to YouTube real quick, right? What do you have to do to get these views? What do you have to do to get these views? What do you have to do? You just, oh, this motherfucker here. Due to my strong personal convictions, I wish to stress that this film in no way endorses a belief in the occult. That is occultic right there. And niggas still let that fly over their fucking head. 1.1 billion. What do you got to do to get that? That's all I'm going to say. 321 million. What do you got to do to get that? Right. We're going to leave it at that. Sick. Okay. So that's why I asked a Matrix green screen. So people don't know that Michael never seen Michael. You only seen, only use a different word. Yeah, this video, I want to be careful with my wording. Let's see, other words for see the picture. Okay, so a illustration. You've seen an illustration of what humans manifested, a mass manifestation, 1.1 billion. That means that 1.1 billion people watched an artificially unintelligent being. That is a legend in her own mind. But of course, we're seeing a masculine, androgynous, hermaphrodite perspective in her own mind. But realistically, people are only looking into the full pervert panic that people are afraid to let go of. People who can't let go of Michael can't let go of pedophilia. That's why pedophilia is accepted in society, and it's been accepted before 2026 years. Divination tools. Go watch the movies, go watch the music. I mean, go back and watch the beginning of this video. This is all divination. I mean, with the anime I told you about the Lord of the Mysteries, all these animes I mentioned to you, that's all divination. My name, well, my character's name, Divine Messenger. I am not a divine messenger, but from my highest gateway within my mind, I am giving you a message if my spirit was to talk or if God was to talk for itself through me. Read their emotions. That's why when I read, so like as I read into the behavior psychology of Michael, that's when I knew like, oh, you're only singing and you're dancing to what the handled system has been through. So it's like, in order for the system to express itself, it has to use puppets. Duh. Learn to play the fucking game. When you play the game, I won't let, if somebody wants to comment about this video, I'm going to make another video on their comment. You're literally working for me. So why would I sit up here and get mad because you're commenting on my content? You're making my job easier for thinking that you can go against me. I would love for you to because I want to make more and more videos. You're helping society by going against me. People don't understand that shit. That's why I learned to play the fucking game. Playing the game is going against celebrities. So people who are with them, I'm against them. So I'm gonna play the fucking game. Healing needs to happen. I don't even gotta explain that shit. If you have a small ass dick to where you justify preying on children to make yourself feel better about your small genitals, that's a you problem. You're grown as fuck, worried about what you can fix downstairs. For one, fix your habits, your decision making. Go work out, drink some water, fast, eat some fruit, go for a walk, go for a run, eat some berries, eat some cashews, eat some nuts, eat whatever the fuck that you need to eat that can help expand your dick. Blood has to flow for it to start having girth and thickness and all that. It's a science to this shit. If you don't know your body, that's on you. Words can't explain. This is to me the best fucking one. Words cannot define what the fuck this is. That's why people who talk about this shit don't know, including me. This one was beautiful. UFOs are third eyes. We can't even see them with our own two eyes, but their holographic technology shows that our first eye is always watching from above. So it's like your first eye is the foreigner within your mind. That's why you give it the ability to forget about how powerful your advancement mentally has always been. A plague of crazed fiends. Go on any post of Michael Jackson, I guarantee you there's somebody defending Michael. This is self-explanatory. Not only just that, go watch some movies. Did these fans not storm Michael wherever she went? That's what Michael wanted. Repressed memory. That's why when the interviewer would say, how can you be okay with sleeping in the bed? No, it's not like that, okay? No, it's a good thing that I'm sleeping in the bed with these kids, okay? No, you're making it weird. It's not like that. But Michael, you're sleeping in bed with kids that aren't yours. But see, you're making me the bad guy. That's not me, okay? These kids wanted it. Okay, I'm loving, I'm healing them. I'm not here to harm them. You can't fool me. Convert to queer. I think all this stuff is just to push the hidden religion, LGBTQ. All this stuff is to push genetic inversion. All this stuff is to make geneticists and molecular biologists and biotechnologists secure with their job. And their job is to literally genetically invert your children. And people are okay with this. In conclusion, for the Gematria, all right, who is MJ? Lucifer is the Avatar. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? To me, this is the greatest video of all time. I say that because it's the fact that we made it this far to where you and I know what other people don't know. I'm getting off track, my bad. I'm just basically appreciating my work, but I gotta be in humility. So Lucifer is the avatar. I say this because if you are if you are a human being believing in Lucifer, that is basically you. You're being like God. So you are a part of the the macrocosm, but you identify in the micro. Excuse me. The moment you, whatever your name is, the moment you find yourself, hiccups, the moment you find yourself is when you stop separating yourself because of what names never call themselves. So to me, Lucifer can't be divided, but it also should not be embodied. You cannot embody illumination. You have to simply watch your mind become illuminated. You cannot watch Lucifer. You watch Luciferianism never become what you embody. You never embody that, but you watch the embodiment of Luciferianism and how it works. There's a difference. You watch Luciferianism embody what it thinks is working on. That's how you're able to manipulate their system. Beneficial blood sucking. When you take from children and from people, you harvest their energy. What do you become? This is why I can't be famous, because I don't want to take energy from you or anybody who cares about me. That's why I can't desire anything from a human being because it's like if you want to give me something, that's on you. But in retrospect, I don't want shit from nobody because that would make me manipulating what I think you don't need. No, keep what you have. Don't give that shit to me because you idolize or you adore me. Fuck who I am. I'm an imagery of what you're symbolizing. Inferior humanoids, weak, less than, and that's because of the parents in the household. These two are self-explanatory right here. I mean, this was basically a modern god within his dimension when she was celebrated. I mean, the thing is too, she's still in hiding, but because mind you, when celebrities fake their death, they're literally practicing Egyptian mysteries. It's mysticism. That's why if you can't get mysticism, you just can't get anime, you can't get spirituality, you can't get consciousness, you can't get esotericism, you can't get neural knowledge, you just can't get the neuromelanin aspect of quantum mechanics or quantum science. Hates to become the GOAT. I can end this video right now. How did Gematria know that before English became a language? Hard to believe, I know. PsyOps program. Look past the light. When you look past the light that Michael's mom wanted Michael to shine upon the world, you stop being blind by who the fuck Michael Jackson could never be. Rape as a weapon of war, right or wrong. There's somebody watching this video right now who has been under this form of control. Let me go and get the highlight on real quick. There is somebody who has been under this form of control right here. This is basically a weapon of warfare upon your mind, right or wrong. If you know what this did to your mind, what makes you think Michael's act is any different? They're literally they're shitting on you. They're like you're like a laughing stock to these people. Don't you see that? They're basically playing on your intelligence. It's like they're shitting in your face and you're just like, God, I love to smell that shit, man. Just because it's famous. On my life, if Michael Jackson was to shit in a Walmart bag, there is somebody who would hold on to that shit, even if it stinks. Geoengineering is real. And I proved that many times, even with the atrazine video, and motherfuckers ain't denying me then. So previously, when I brought this shit up like 2 years ago, everybody, not everybody, but majority of people were going against me. But now that people have been conditioned to know what I'm about and what I stand for, niggas can't say shit no more. Now every single day I'm getting new and new followers who are now on board to what the fuck has been going on. A woman narcissist, right or wrong? You're too slow. By now, if you watch my videos, we're beyond this shit. We just come back to this shit because there's some people who can't get away from the program. Identity numbers. This is all just an identification of what words can never be described as. The pandemic is a big fat lie, right or wrong. And if we go into another one, that's how I know people are just basically bums. I'm not here anymore. So when the death happened on television, go on YouTube and type in Michael Jackson funeral. Who was really in the casket? Afro Entertainment. Right or wrong? Let's go and go back. Afro Entertainment. How did Gematria know that? Niggas can deny all they want, but them numbers, they see beyond the beyonding or the beyonder. Pentagon chip secret. And that chip implant is just basically you tapping into what can get triggered beyond technology. You have a secret chip in your mind that the Pentagon has access to, but who gave the Pentagon the access to your brain when your brain itself does not know it's a mind? Integrate to embody. So when you integrate the works of Michael, you can embody the possessing and the possessor of a Koribants. Koribants being the dancing ritualistic entity that initiated other beings and opened up ceremonial portals to traffic more and more children, basically. CERN is preventing us from being into higher states of dimensional transcending timelines. Sex with reality. Basically, she fucked you with her dance moves, her lyricism, her way of thinking, her portrayal of outfits, and just all these different cosplays of musician or music. Quantum Stargate. Stargates exist in your mind, but the military has access to quantum sciences and they put in the work to design Stargate portals to go into different timelines. That's how CERN was able to prevent us from being in the future. Natural born Mason. Things are possible. So you can't sit up here and deny like this shit don't exist. This is the most accurate gematria I've ever came up with in one day. Mind you, I did all this shit today, literally. All right, and lastly, a love letter from a 40-year-old man to a child. Hello, your Valentine picture was so original and sweet. I love you so much. Also, you're making me love you even more the more I talk to you. I'm crazy about you. All my love, Michael, the Monopoly King. And this is the writing of a woman. Just look at how sharp, look at how precise the writing is. It was like you really made this shit with fucking love. You're disgusting. Michael is a piece of shit. Fuck Michael Jackson. Property of Alcatraz Penitentiary. Who put this shirt on this fucking child? You basically said this child is a property of prison mentalities. And what do you know? MJ had goals, and when you have goals, you will work hard at it, especially in the situation that MJ was in. He had to achieve his goals. It was vital for him. This is what made him great. Just look at his goal note. Not too many people write or believe like this. That's cap. I can show you all in my bathroom. I got two sheets of affirmations on my window or on my mirror and next to my wall's mirror or my mirror's wall. What the fuck? I said that shit backwards? I got two affirmation lists, one on my mirror and one on my wall by the mirror that basically confirm what I won't tell you, but if you know about who I am or my character, it's confirmed in my affirmations. So you know who I am. I don't gotta tell you who I am because bitch, you can listen and know what the fuck I'm about. So all this affirmation, all this manifestation, I've been on that shit too. NJ will be my new name. No more Michael Jackson. I want a whole new character, a whole new look. I should be a totally different person. People should never think of me as a kid who sang ABC, I Want You Back. I should be a new incredible actor, singer, dancer that will shock the world. I would do no interviews. I will be magic. I'll be perfectionist, a researcher, a trainer, a master. I'll be better than every great actor roped in one. I must have the most incredible training system to dig and dig and dig until I find. I will study and look back on the whole world entertainment and perfect it, take it steps further from where the greatest left off. Exactly what a Mason would fucking do. And then here we go, the younger version of Michael. It's just like, and mind you, these are this person never existed. This is like putting on a costume for Halloween. But where is it? Where's the phallus at? It's like at least you will see a bulge, pause. But my thing is, there is no pause because why are families chopping off dicks and planting prosthetic dicks onto a fucking woman who's playing as a man? Why are y'all doing this shit to little girls and little boys? Just for money? And my people don't see anything wrong with this shit, but I'm the crazy for bringing this shit to light. The moment I bring Luciferianism into enlightenment, motherfuckers look at me like I'm crazy. All right, got you. Nasty pieces of shit. Then more and more, and then we already read about that. All right. Celebrity worship can turn a human's attention span into psychological energy. This practice is what feeds on manufactured personas instead of self-awareness. The unconscious mind becomes a mirror chamber when it consumes symbolism, fame, lust, fear, and validation without remaining aware. Someone could spend hours defending a celeb online, but never invest that same energy into improving their own life, health, or awareness. So people can care about a pedophile, but when will you put that exact same energy and invest that for your own future so where you can have better health and better awareness when it comes down to you living the life that you always wanted? And lastly, many people will study celebrities more than they would themselves. These people won't take time to study their own mind, emotions, habits, or consciousness because they don't see themselves as important or great within the life they mentally design. People will know every detail on MJ and her relationships, outfits, and scandals, but don't know how to explain their own emotional triggers or unconscious habits. So you can have a problem with your anger, let's say your sadness, your depression, all these different lazy habits that you have and being just disgusting in your nature. You can have all these things that are going on, but when will you take time to sit with yourself and say, you know what? I need to clean my room. I need to go ahead and clean my bathroom. Let me go ahead and wash my car. Let me go ahead and wash my clothes real quick. Let me go ahead and read a book. Let me go ahead and go for a walk and clear my mind. Let me go ahead and just be mindful. Cut my TV off, cut my phone off, cut my game off, cut everything off, cut the world off, open my blinds, and just sit in mindfulness meditation and learn about why my habits are bringing a detriment to my life. What can I do to mentally design a betterment for my consciousness? I appreciate you all for tuning in to another message and thank you all for enjoying this part two. At this point, I mean, we've been doing this shit for so long. I mean, what else is there to explain? Michael Jackson never existed. And if you prove as if, or you think as if you can prove the existence of Michael, that's how I know you are asleep to what cannot be proved within a reality that knows it can never be real according to the terminology that you yourself think you're supposed to talk about or that you have learned from. The moment you learn from occultism, you understand that your mind is always being played with because do you understand what you're really living in? And once you can conceptualize what you're living in, you're not actually living in it, but you're watching what the mind thinks is living in. Have a great and prosperous and successful and igniting day and night to any Mirage watching this mindful message. I'm gone.